In this video, we look at the biography of William Gerald Golding, his personal life, youth, interesting facts, and books. In a long life, William Gerald Golding has been outcast in Sir commanded a landing craft during the World War, won the most prestigious awards, and visited the city on the Navy of European Writers Forum. The novelist's books exploring the nature of evil have become classics. Childhood and youth. The Future and the Nobel Laureate was born in September 1911 in Cornwall. The father of the boy, school head teacher, had versatile abilities, developed and published scientific manuals, perfectly mused on the flute, keyboards and string instruments. Bill's mother, a staunch feminist, suffered from mental illness. On dark evenings, the woman would throw knives and other dangerous objects at her son. Next to the family mansion was an ancient cemetery. William grew up lonely, anxious, and complicated. The boy was equally interested in literature and mathematics. At the age of 12, Golding decided that he would become a writer. But at 19, at the insistence of his parents, he enrolled to study science at Oxford University College. After 2 years, the passion for linguistics won, and the young man transferred to the philosophical department. Golding's first works are poetic. In poetry, the young man sought solace. Fellow students awarded Bill the derogatory name "not quite a gentleman" for his non-elite background. As a young man, Golding tried various occupations. He staged his plays in small London theatre. He worked in a settlement room and a shelter for the homeless. He taught in Salisbury. However, the strongest impression on the writer made the service in the Navy during the 4 years, which deprived him, the future novelist, of illusions about human nature. Books: The Creative Legacy of William Golding. The first published and most famous novel, Lord of the Flies, originally titled Strangers Peering from the Within, had a difficult fate. The book was rejected by the publishers more than 20 times before it was published, after substantial editing and renaming. The work is a symbiosis of coming-of-age drama, dystopia, and the Robinsons. Unlike the characters of Defoe and Jules Verne, the civilized heroes do not ennoble the island to which they have been stranded by the crash, but savage and go on a journey full of hatred and hostility. Especially frightening is the fact that all the heroes are murderers and their victims are children. The novel is saturated with metaphors. For example, the symbol of civilization are the glasses of a character named Piggy and the embodiment of the faceless cruelty of the crowd. The paint with which teenage islanders painted their faces. The work is now part of the school curriculum for young Britons. Curiously, Golding himself did not like Lord of the Flies and was the wary of rereading the book. He appreciated his second novels, The Heirs, whose events unfolded in primitive society. In the next book, Thief Martin, the action takes place on a piece of land surrounded by water. According to the critics, the most important work of the novelist, besides The Lord of Flies, are The Spire, filled with reflections on the price of inspiration, The Visible Darkness, full of biblical analogies, and the Booker Prize-winning rituals of swimming, while the most controversial are the novel Papermen and the short story collection Pyramid. In the novel Free Falling, there are one autobiographical motif. The prototype character Nick Shales was the father of the novelist, and one of the most memorable episodes is a realistically described torture of the protagonist in the prison camp. In 1983, the writer was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature, and 5 years later, the Queen granted the elderly novelist the title of Knight. Golding's final novel, Double Tongue, was published after the author's death. Personal life of William Golding looked and behaved more like a sea wolf than a titled writer. Even in a photo taken during the Nobel Prize presentation, the novelist looks deceived. Those who knew Golding believed that in the writer slumbered a monster. At this many times hinted at in William himself, he spoke about the attempt of rape of a 15-year-old girl, the murder of a rabbit, the ominous secrets that would emerge in the writing of his biography. Judith Diana, however, states that the novelist's preoccupation with himself, his art, and his wife turned the younger members of the family into kind of a social orphans. Interesting facts: that writer suffered from many phobias. He was afraid of arthropods and snakes, of heights and injections. He was badly oriented in terrain. Death: William Golding died at the age of 82. The cause of the writer's death completely coincided with that of his father. Both were first diagnosed by doctors with cancer, but during the remission, the patients were killed by an acute heart attack. The farewell to the writer took place in the cathedral of the town of Salisbury. His widow outlived the novelist by 2 years and was buried with her husband in Bowerchoke.